Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and affected families of Hurricane Helene. For information on how you can contribute to disaster relief, please visit the link in the description. What is going on, Fizz Nation? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for stopping by again. Before I get started, I just want to say if I sound kind of off, it's because I'm dealing with a bit of a cold right now. First one of the season, so please forgive me if I sound like I'm trying to talk through a wall. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and deviate slightly from our fall flavors series for this week, because as many of you know, we're about halfway through National Hispanic Heritage Month. It started on September 15th, and it runs to October 15th. So I figured it might be kind of cool to do what we did last year and try an international flavor that you might not have heard of before. This is Guarana Backus. I really hope I said that right. It is a product of Peru, which if you don't know is a Spanish-speaking South American country. And apparently all this is guarana fruit-flavored soda. I've actually kind of been interested in this flavor for a little while now. The way that I found it is there is a Peruvian restaurant in my town that sells this. I've been going there for lunch with work friends for a few years now, and I've walked past this I don't even know how many times, didn't even see it, until about a month ago when it caught my eye. And immediately I knew exactly when I wanted to try this. Last week. But I missed last week because I was on vacation with my family. So we're doing it this week. Now, Fizz Nation, if the term guarana sounds familiar to you, you may remember that on occasion we talk about a 90s drink called Josta on this channel. Many people consider it to be the first commercially available energy drink. It was a Pepsi product, and the primary ingredient that gave you the extra energy was guarana. Obviously, Josta was discontinued in 1999, and we've seen neither hide nor tail of it since. And ever since then, we haven't really seen any commercially mainstream products that have guarana as a main ingredient. It feels like it was just a one-time thing in American pop culture. You know what? I give up. You guys just have no sense of humor. This is comedy gold. But all that said, I think it's time to go ahead and get right into the content that you guys are here to see. Let's go ahead and pop the top and give it the old sniff test and see what it tells us. Uh-oh. Okay, we may have a bit of a problem here. This smells sort of like a mixture between bubblegum and cough syrup. Like, not quite Robitussin levels of cough syrup, but it does kind of have a sort of medicinal kind of smell to it. Although this could honestly be a little bit of help to me in my current condition. But as we all know, the sniff test is only going to get us so far, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and grab our trusty glass with ice and give it the old pour. And let's get a better look at this exotic drink that we're trying this week. Okay, so immediately off the bat, it is sort of like this kind of orange amber color, as you can see. Not too bad on the carbonation, it's decent. If I didn't know better, I'd say that this looked more like an orange or peach soda just by looking at it. Although obviously it doesn't smell like either of those. But we've smelled it, we've seen it, now it's time to go ahead and toss back and see what it tastes like. Here's to you. Okay, all right. I would say that the taste is a little bit simpler than the smell here. Like, it's still giving off a bit of a bubblegum flavor, but there is almost a sort of kind of exotic, nondescript citrus flying way deep underneath of it. Like, you have to kind of give it a second to hit. This actually kind of reminds me of one of those international flavors that we tried at Epcot, you know, that the Club Cool. Last year I put out a video trying all of those flavors. Card is above my head in case you missed it. And this is kind of reminding me of one of those. Sort of like a bubblegum, but not overly sweet. And it's got one of those sort of fruit type flavors underneath of it that you can't quite place initially, but it almost reminds you of sort of like a honey kind of undertone in a sense. Somehow this flavor is both simple and complex at the same time. But from a flavor standpoint, not bad. Okay, so what do I think of Guarana Backus soda? You know, these flavors always kind of hit a little different for me just because America is one of the only countries in the world that makes soft drinks quite the way that we do. So obviously that's what we're used to in our day-to-day lives. And then you try something like this from another country and it's got a simpler ingredients list. The flavor itself is not as punchy or in your face as your typical American cola. Like, it's not as sweet, but it's also not as familiar. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've tried a flavor like this and I've been like, okay, well, it kind of tastes something like this thing that I've tried before. And I think it's got undertones of this type of flavor, but it's not quite something that, you know, I'm used to, nor would I expect it to be. So it's through that lens that I view the flavor as, I wouldn't say bad, because it's not. From a flavor standpoint, I mean, you know, it's pretty good. It's a little confusing at first though, because you're used to soft drink tasting and feeling a certain way. And so a lot of times when you grow up with a certain type of experience being considered normal for you and something foreign is introduced into the mix, it can sometimes be a bit of an acquired taste, which is kind of what I think this would be. That said, I have my preferences. I like a good amount of carbonation in my soft drinks. This has carbonation, but it's not as strong as I generally tend to like. I like a strong in-your-face flavor that just kind of walks up to you and smacks you in the face. This just kind of waves at you from across the street. Still a pleasant interaction, but a bit underwhelming as far as a flavor experience is concerned. But by no means do I dislike it. But like I said, I have preferences. And so it is because of that that I'm going to go ahead and give Guarana Backus soda 3.5 out of 5 sips. Will I drink this again? Probably. But will it ever get to a spot in my life where I think it's going to be one of the first things I reach for when I'm looking for a good soft drink? Probably not. But as always, that is just my opinion. I would love to know yours. Have you ever tried this before? Have you ever heard of it? If you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. All right, Fizz Nation, that's going to go and do it for me this week. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by. Did you like this video? Please let myself and the algorithm know by hitting that like button. It really helps us out a lot. And if you'd like to see more content just like this, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you don't miss any notifications for future videos. I'm going to get out of here, finish this up, hopefully get to feeling better. You guys have an awesome week and we will see you next time.